Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
Yeah. Welcome to the HellRaisers Ball, where decadence and depravity are the laws of the land. So strap yourself in, kids. It's going to be a wild ride. Tonight, we have one hell of a show planned for you. Once again, the show is being guest hosted by Mr. David Van Landing, who some of you might know from Michael Schenker, Tony McAlpine, Crimson Glory, and Mannequin.
Mannequin, yeah.
Among others.
Yeah.
And in just a little while, we're going to have a good friend of yours.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Todd Latore from Queensryche is going to be with us. And my bandmates from MSG, Mr. Wayne Finley, who is basically the mainstay of MSG. Michael rotates members constantly.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Yeah, he's good for that. But Wayne's the only one who's been there from, he came in the band literally right after I did, after I left for a few years. So he's been with him since '98. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's been with him for, a long time.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we're also going to be talking to another Crimson Glory alumni, Mr. Wade Black, international rock star, international movie soundtrack recording artist. Who knows? His resume grows every day.
The ironic thing about that is now you're going to have 3/4 of ex-Crimson Glory singers on the show at one time.
How awesome is that?
Well, we'll get into a story about that later on. But the only one that's not going to make it is Midnight. He ain't going to be on here.
Very true.
Although I wish he would show up. That would be a freaking blast.
Wouldn't that be?
Yeah. So.
Man, I'd pay to see that.
So let's get to Todd if we can.
Yeah, we're going to give Todd a call. And then a little bit later in the show, we're going to be bringing back the guys from American Fix. They were in the studio with us.
Yeah, great guys.
Last week, and we're going to be talking about an upcoming gig that they got coming up and showing some more videos that they got.
Okay.
So that should be pretty cool. And do we have Todd queued up yet, or are we ready? Okay, very cool.
So I talked to Todd for a while today. I'm looking forward to this, the conversation that we're going to have. It's something that obviously Todd and I, including Wade, kind of have the same, role that where we came in and had to replace another singer.
Right, and that's something you and I talked about earlier.
Yeah. About
how difficult it can be to come in and kind of be the fill-in or replacement singer for, especially,
it's tough.
An iconic band like Crimson Glory or
Queensryche. Yeah, and it's tough. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy, and it's you just try to come in and do everything justice, and hopefully you get accepted, or the people embrace you, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. It's just you're not going to please everybody,
No, of course not.
It's that simple. So, so I'm looking forward to. Oh, really? Okay.
Why? What do we got going on?
I don't know. You might want to try again.
Okay, we'll try again.
Yeah. We're trying to get Todd on the line, and his phone went straight to voicemail. Imagine that.
Imagine that. Well, hopefully it'll go through this time. I'm having a problem with these headphones, too.
Is that the ones that light up?
Yep.
That's because they're not lighting up.
Is that why? Let's see. Are they blinking now?
No. Although there may be, your hair might be blocking. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. Again?
Again?
Interesting.
4 times. We'll keep on trying.
All right.
In the meantime, I was able to find a few pictures of Todd online and a Queensryche teaser for the new album, but I guess we'll play that after we get him on the phone.
Well, I would just go ahead and play the teaser now while we're trying to get him on the phone, and then go from there.
Actually, Brandon, do we have that teaser? Should be an MP4 in the Queensryche file.
Wait a minute.
It should be. Hold on. I don't see it there.
Okay, so Todd's texting me right now. He's like, no call yet. Are you sure you got the right number here? That's probably.
Yep, 727.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All
That's
right.
why.
Yeah, he's probably watching. And he's going. All right. So we had the area code wrong.
It happens.
All right. And somebody's like, yeah, I don't call, but nobody's called me, I promise.
We'll get him in just a minute.
Yeah, it's technology. We're sitting here, all right, they're calling you now, Todd. Answer the phone, buddy.
Here we go.
He's laughing at me on the
I think we got him now. Todd, you're live on the HellRaisers Ball. No?
there
Finally, we got you.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh man, I didn't know if I was sure. Are you watching us? Is that what you were doing and you were laughing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to make sure that I had the right link and everything was cool. And I see you there with your black visor and the black shirt, and everybody's there. And I'm hearing we're trying to call him. I'm looking at my phone. I said nobody's calling me. And then our mutual friend texted me, the station's trying to call you. I said, no one's called me, but we're through now, so it's all good.
Right on.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I appreciate coming on with us, bro. It's
no problem.
It's good to talk to you. It's always good to talk to you. We talked a long time today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I think about an hour and a half.
Wow.
So anyways, the Todd's in the middle of doing the new Queensryche album, right, buddy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And why don't you tell us how that's going?
It's good. I mean, we're almost finished with. Everyone's been, working diligently on everything. I've been, recording vocals for the last couple weeks and just getting the final bits and pieces finished. And it's we're really excited about it. I mean, the material is very organic and fresh to us, and everyone's collaborated equally. Everyone is a songwriter, I mean, I've written stuff. Everyone in the band has contributed equally, and, we all communicate on a daily basis, and we're very excited about it. There's having the teaser world premiere on Eddie Trunk's show was a really cool thing that he was able to do for us, and it's getting a lot of positive buzz, so no complaints. I'll be glad when it's finally going into its final, production phases and mastered and, ready to hit the street. So,
well,
it's a tiring thing, but it's all good.
Well, the nice thing is that, Todd told me that, that he's, coming in and doing the job that he's doing now, that he's being treated as an equal member, and that's a wonderful thing,
See, that's awesome to be able to come in and have the group embrace you and let you.
It was surprising. I mean, you don't know what to expect. You think that they're gonna bring you in and tell you do this, do that, don't say this, don't do that, wear this. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, from day one, I've been treated as a complete equal. They don't muzzle me. They don't tell me how how to dress, what to say. I mean, I've been an integral part into the creation of our set list. So everything that I've said, I mean, if it's cohesive to the overall, betterment of the band, then, it's accepted. A lot of things have been implemented, that I've come up with, and, not everything I say is going to work, but honestly, I feel like I've worked with these guys for forever, because the dynamic, for the music on a personal level, we all have our very unique, we all have our own bond, and we've lived together, we've traveled together, we've stayed on the bus in close quarters together. When we were doing recording out in Los Angeles, and in Seattle, we're all, it's like family, and, I mean, I've been privy and open to so many things that most people would be shocked at, and, it's just a very natural, it's stress free. It really, I mean, the only stress that's put on me is by myself. They don't put any stress on me. Like, it's all,
we talked about that.
I feel best about. They're like, we trust in you. We want you to do what you feel is you're most passionate about. And, and then we run with that. And then we all gather around and talk about ideas. And if other people have ways to improve what I've created, or vice versa, then, it all goes into the pot, and we all, it's a democracy, dude. It's really awesome. I mean, I could not ask for a sweeter situation.
Well, you know what? It's like,
that is amazing.
Yeah. When we did,
that's surprising.
We did some shows together back in, what was it? November, October? I think it was October, actually. And,
like that.
Yeah, we did some festivals. And that's one of the things I did notice, is that they talked to Todd, because I was on the outside looking in, and they talked to Todd, with a lot of respect, and they asked him, okay, did you want this? How did you want this? And I thought that was awesome. I mean, because I don't think even Todd was expecting that.
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But as I first met each of the guys, they were all just so open. They're all really relaxed. It's very, you meet a lot of, I mean, Dave, you've crossed paths with, a lot of walks of life in the music business, and you meet some people that have the biggest egos. I think they need their own tour bus just for that. And then you have other people who, have every right to throw their weight around, and they just don't. And it's, everybody in Queensryche, I can honestly say, are the most humble, sweet, down-to-earth, approachable,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
non-confrontational, no ego. It just makes it such a pleasant work environment. And we laugh our asses off constantly. There's never a dull moment.
Well,
we're
especially
always having a good
especially
time.
with Eddie.
That's a big deal.
Especially with Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie is he's the funniest, but Parker is very funny. He's super witty, and Michael's kind of the quiet one of the bunch, and but he's got his funny moments. Michael's, I would say, out of the group, he's the most reserved, but when he speaks, people listen.
Yeah.
And they're all just really great people, and I didn't know what to expect, but even the Thomas, the guy who engineered, he did the first Queensryche EP. We actually hung out when I was in Seattle, and he had a very nice compliment. He said to me, your interaction with these guys is like you've been in the band for 20 years. And I said, really? And he said, look, I've known these guys a long time, and I see how, the dynamics, and, I'm very, I'm very vocal. I don't want to control anything or anybody, but I'm very passionate about my ideas, And
like
I
me.
certainly don't have a problem voicing that. Sometimes I think I have to pinch myself and say, that was kind of a ballsy thing to just, say, on an idea, or maybe there was an issue, because, when you're writing a record and there's, a producer, and they're saying, well, get rid of this, I don't like that, change that. And somebody's critiquing your passion, your art, your creation. It's hard to separate the personal aspect of it to, let's just look at it, without the emotion. That's a hard thing to separate, and you know that. And there have been times when I've said, no, I disagree. I strongly disagree on this. And, I think that there's a mutual level of respect among everyone, and there's nobody steps on anyone's toes. It's really great. I feel so fortunate to I can't say never mind, but take away the fact that, it is Queensryche and they have a legendary status, but just in any work environment to have that type of, and granted, I'm the new guy in the band, talk to me in 20 years and, maybe they'll, want to beat me up or something. But overall, they're all great. They're great.
Yeah.
There's no complaints. And, they're married. They have families. They're not 18 years old. They're mature, grown adults that, they've been doing this a long time. This isn't their first rodeo, so they approach everything in a very mature way.
They are great guys. I mean, and like he said, they're very non-confrontational, very down-to-earth people. I mean, after we finished our shows in San Antonio or whatever, or even I think it was San Antonio. I mean, they were all on our bus, just hanging out with us, And I
know I was looking for the band, and
that's awesome.
I swear, the hell is everybody? They're all on Schenker's bus. And I came on there and. I was like, guys, I'm going to bed, and you guys were up. Everybody was laughing and having a good time,
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. I really did, and I really did enjoy Eddie as well. The guy just cracks me up, man. He's
hilarious.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
So, so when is the album supposed to be done?
I don't have an exact date, to be honest with you. All of our stuff is pretty much finished. Guitars are done, bass is done. I've just got a couple little things vocally that I'm wrapping up, but Jimbo is already, doing his thing and working on mixes on songs that are already completed. And, I really would hate to put a time frame, but from what I've heard in Scott's interview and stuff like that, he said a few months, and I've heard June. I don't know exactly when it's going to be released, but certainly, we're suspecting within the next, few months that, we're still gathering, doing artwork things and, all of our thank yous and anything special that we want to put inside the disc, like certain photos and things that we've done from our writings and working together in the studio, like kind of intimate footage that you don't normally see, not promotional things, but very candid, working photos, things
right.
that were capturing us, in those magical times, those special moments. So there's a lot of little detail things, but I would say, I don't know, 3-4 months, maybe something like that before it's in your hands. Don't quote me, but
is there a title for the record?
Yeah,
there is not a title for the record yet.
Okay. That's cool. Well, so anyway, so here's the thing, because I know you want to say something about this. You're going to be playing here in March, and this being your home state. I know you're looking forward to that, because we talked about that today. It's nothing better than coming to your hometown, and singing for,
a huge band like Queensryche.
Yeah, because I personally had two homes. Mine was in Phoenix, Arizona, and then the Baltimore, Washington area, and I got to do both of those on the tour. Unfortunately, I was, on each show I was on 9 days in a row, so I didn't get to sing as well as I want to. And I know I know Todd's going to be coming around the same time. He's going to be doing a lot of shows before he gets to here. So
right.
We've got we're leaving. Be flying out on the 4th, March 4th, and then our tour bus will pick us up, I think, in St. Louis. We have our first show on the 5th in Iowa, and then we're going to be gone for about 2 months. We'll do all of March in the States and then in Canada, and then we also will be heading overseas and doing a lot of stuff throughout Europe for April. But yeah, when I do the home show, I will have done, I don't know how many in a row, but nevertheless, travel is fatiguing, lots of different climates and this and that. And obviously, for your home crowd, you want to put on the best that you can. And I'll be honest, some of the best singing I've ever done, I felt like a fighter that just had no gas, and it was only swinging out of heart. It was just heart and the passion and the energy of the crowd. Sometimes you dig deep and you pull things out that you probably wouldn't have been able to do. And look, let's face it, Queensryche's music is certainly, in my opinion, one of the most difficult to sing of the genre. And obviously that's why Jeff Tate has always had has been revered as such an amazing vocalist. And even to this day, I think he has a great voice. It's still very warm and rich, and he's a seasoned veteran. He knows his instrument, and so it's going to be great. I'm going to see people I haven't seen in 20 years. People from my hometown, people I went to high school with, people from Seminole Music, which is a local music store that I've been going into since I was probably 13 years old. I used to, buy guitars from them and drums, and it's just going to be a great thing. And to top it off, and not to touch on a super sad note for you, bud, because Dave, you're one of my best friends, but my mother is finally going to see me sing for the first time like this at all. She's always come out. Well, she's seen me perform many times as a drummer, singing backing vocals and stuff. But even when I was in Crimson Glory, we only toured Europe. We never played the U.S., so she never even got to see that. And so that's even more special for me, that my mom is finally going to get to, if she just sees me once
that is awesome
in her life, that's a big deal to me. And so it's a very special thing. And,
what Todd,
it's going to be awesome.
What Todd's referring to is because my mom's not around to it, and she's not going to be able to, she wouldn't get a chance to see me with Shanker. So I think it's awesome that his mother is going to get to see him with Queensryche. And
that is awesome.
Yeah. What's weird, real quick, is, Matt Laporte was both our friend, and he passed away. And, he was the catalyst that kickstarted me even singing. He introduced me to Crimson Glory and John Oliva from Sabotage. And a lot, I really credit the initial spark and fire and catalyst to all of this for me, because I was never an aspiring singer. I never sang for any band prior to Crimson Glory in 2009. Okay. I had an idea of starting an Iron Maiden tribute band because a local band here was playing at a bar, and a friend of mine kept bugging the band, hey, let my friend up there, let him sing an Iron Maiden song. And, it was kind of like, go, go, go. And everyone's pushing me. And I really felt uncomfortable. And so I sang Wasted Years from Iron Maiden. It went over well, and it kind of kick-started the idea in my head. Like, wow, that was fun. I don't know if I could sing a set of Iron Maiden, but this might be cool. And so that's when I ran into Matt, and everything started from there with the idea. But the point to my story is, when John Oliva's Pain played the same venue that we're going to be playing, I got to sit with his mother. Actually, they played at the State Theater, but then when they came around again, he had already passed away. And so I got to sit with Matt's mom and watch the band that her son played in. And so there's kind of a weird thing that now the first time I'm playing in my hometown happens to be with Queensryche, and my mom is going to be sitting, because it's a standing room only venue, and usually on the side of the soundboard there's some bar stools, and I'll have that roped off, and there'll be a spot for my mom there. So there's kind of a weird bittersweet
well, I hope I get to meet her
there.
I hope I get to meet her.
You will.
Yeah,
you will.
good.
It'll
Good.
be great. Yeah, it should be a wonderful show, and it's been promoted really well, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
And there's a slight
I think a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's a slight possibility that we might be able to do a song together. That's what we're talking about right now. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, we're going to see what we can work out. It's been, everyone's been so busy doing things with the recordings that I haven't been able to lock down that conversation. But look, I know Michael and Parker got to play with Schenker and you guys when you played it in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a possibility certainly for that, or even a House of Blues show on the 22nd. But we'll make sure that we get something done. Well,
it'll be fun regardless. I had a blast. What he's talking about is that Parker and Michael Wilton got up on stage with us and did Doctor in
cool.
Seattle. Yeah, and you can that's actually on YouTube somewhere as well. They put a video up there. I think Iron Mike put it on there. So,
and Whip had the best time. I mean, he loves Schenker, and he was a big inspiration to him as a player. So, that was a personal feather in Mike's cap, I think, to be able to do that. He had a great time.
If I had my way about it, they would have played the whole set with us. That's the way. I mean, I was kind of, because we did a final bow and they were supposed to come bow with us and they didn't. They walked off stage. I'm like, wait, I'm looking at them going, where are you guys going, man? We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But, so Todd, check this out. Okay.
Yep.
After I talked to you today, JC here called me and said, I talked to Wade Black. And for those,
actually Wade was trying to call in. He said he got a busy signal.
Oh, really? Okay. Wade wanted to call in so that way all three of us could be on the air at the same time. And it's kind of funny.
3 Crimson Glory singers, holy shit.
Well, the funny thing was that
would be cool. Though.
This would be a second time that this would happen to us, because the first time it happened to us, and it just happened by pure luck, was I was down at the State Theater with Elliot from Dean, Elliot Rubinson, and we were watching Anvil, and I go up in the dressing room to meet the guys, and there's Todd standing right there, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And the ironic thing was that Wade was in the opening band. So,
that's right.
And I was just in town visiting. I was only in town for like 2 or 3 days.
Playing War of Thrones.
And I couldn't believe that, 3/4 of Crimson Glory was in the same room. I mean, that just blew us away. And
that is amazing.
Neat.
We took a picture of it, or there were several pictures taken of it. Some reporters, some people were there, like, we got to get a picture of this. So
it would be awesome to do a live interview with all three of you guys at the same time.
Well, you know what?
Sure.
And check this out, Todd. This is something that Wade, because he called me just a little while ago, and he goes, hey man, he goes, or maybe it was you that told me this, but he wants to do a song where was it you? Yeah. And have all me, you, and Wade all sing on the song, and maybe something, I'm sure, in the vein of the Crimson Glory theme or whatever. And and I think that would be interesting. I don't know, awesome. It's
I mean, Wade's a great guy. I used to play drums in a metal band back in the early 90s, and Wade was in Lucian Black.
Yes.
And I remember we played our set, and then we were done, and then I heard this band start, and I think it was at Killian's, and then I heard this guy sing, and it was awesome. I mean, it was the really high kind of Halford sound with the cool vibrato. And it was this guy with combat boots and a shaved head, and he kind of moved weird. And then he kind of like kind of moshed around on stage a little, but his arms kind of flailed. He was like he was so just him. He didn't care what anybody thought. And then he had these glasses on. Then he took the glasses off, and he has these eyes, you know what I'm talking about. And he's got really, he has these, he has neat looking eyes, but when he's singing and he gets in his mode and his eyes open real wide, he's kind of like, whoa, he looks kind of intimidating, and I think I was 19 years old or something back when this was going on. And, and that was the first time I ever heard Wade sing. And then, full circles, 18, 19 years, whatever it was, however many years later, and met Wade doing those rehearsals for the Prog Power show. And then, one thing led to another, and here we are,
Yeah,
But whenever I see Wade, we're always, look, when I got into Crimson Glory, it was a weird thing. It was
weird for all of us. Yeah.
It was a weird thing. Wade, I took that position, but I wasn't vying for that position. It was had nothing to do with me. I was just asked to sing these songs. And, I think that I was able to capture the essence and the feeling, the overall vibe of what Crimson Glory's vocal styling was. And look, I did the best I could with those guys. And it was a weird feeling for me when I would see Wade, because, I liked him. And I think overall, he liked me as a person. But, if he had a bitter feeling towards me, if he did, I would have understood that. But he always maintained respect, and he understood that this wasn't me. It was a band thing, and we've always maintained a friendship. And I really like Wade. He's a cool guy. He's funny. He's just,
he's Wade.
People that know Wade,
he's
they
Wade,
like
man.
him. He's
Absolutely.
very likable.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make any excuses for it, and I think that's what a lot of people respond to.
Yeah.
With him.
And
he still does his thing, and good for him, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's a small world, dude. Look,
because I know he's got a gig at the State Theater on Saturday night, and he was asking if we would come out and support him and stuff like that. I know he would. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, if I think I can do that. I don't know if Todd is available. If he is, maybe.
Dude, I don't know. I'm leaving. I'm out of here Sunday.
Okay.
So I've got tons of things to wrap up here before I hit the road.
That's cool.
What I was gonna say was, it's a pretty small world. It's not as big as people think. I mean, you're only a few people away from knowing so many in the industry, and burning a bridge is not cool. And if you act like an asshole and you have an ego and you're not a good person, you never know down the road when you're gonna cross that path again. And if you're just a good person and you treat people with respect, it's gonna get you far. And I always treated Wade with respect. I've never had anything bad to say about him. And you know what? It came full circle, because when Eddie Trunk was talking about something on a satellite radio show, I was notified and told that Wade Black called in and had some nice things to say about me. And I texted Wade and said, hey, it came to my attention that you called into the show and, rapped with Eddie a little bit and had some nice things to say. And I just wanted to reach out to you and thank you for that. And I really appreciate that. He didn't have to do that,
It's funny you said that, because just earlier tonight, because there's kind of a fraternity when it comes to singers. Okay, we're all singers, but there's all different types of singers. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so what I'm driving at here was that earlier tonight somebody posted something, on Facebook, and he had some choice things to say about either me or Todd. And the thing is,
you were telling me about that. That was kind of
the thing was he's a singer as well. Okay. Right. And I look at it like, okay, we're not on here to stroke our egos. We're not on here we're just discussing our careers, and that's what.
What was the comment?
What's that?
I mean, was it like a condescending thing, or?
Oh yeah, it wasn't nice at all. You know, and he's a singer in a band himself, and I've never heard of him, but whatever. The point is that, you know, like you said, you don't want to burn any bridges. You don't want to, you know what I mean?
Sure.
We're like a fraternity. We're singers stick together, drummers stick together, blah blah blah. Okay,
Yeah.
so what my point is that you know, if you got a problem with, if somebody has a problem with another singer for whatever reason, you know, suck it up, put on your big boy pants, and move on. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And you know,
well, look, you know, a lot of people can say, "Oh, you're a rock star now," and that whole thing. But look, the bottom line is, if you're a lawyer or a physician, or I don't care what career you are in, there are seminars. Okay. There are things online. There are, you know, look, there's schmooze parties. There's business gatherings that are, people play golf over business. We're in the entertainment industry. We do on-air interviews. We do magazine interviews. We perform live. Without that outlet, you know, how are people gonna know? That's why social media is so important. Look, does it come across as a bit, you know,
pretentious? Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, superficial or egomaniacal or self-indulgent. Okay, it could, but to somebody that's not relying on that as a source of promotion for their business and their career, they really don't have anything to say. Now, maybe this singer, you know, I don't know what he said, but you know, that door swings both ways. If he's in a big band, then he should understand. If he's not in a big band, then when he gets to a level where you know, he's being asked to be interviewed, he'll respect and understand that. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, but look, there are listeners that are listening to this show right now, and we are very thankful for them tuning in. They don't have to do that.
Right.
They do it because of because of the love of the music, and we are thankful for that. You know,
and you're absolutely right. I mean, people are interested in what we have to say, and it's not because we feel like that we have to have our ego stroked. It's nothing to do with that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you said, this is what we do. We're entertainers. We people want to know what's going on in our lives. They want to know that our backgrounds and what blah blah blah. But yet we still put our pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. You know. So,
well, and here's the thing, Dave, is we're having a very candid conversation. We're not having a very, you know, I didn't have to run a list of questions through my publicist to get that, you know, green light, and then it's a very formal kind of a thing. So people appreciate the one-on-one, candid, normal conversation that breaches the standard, typical question answer, the same old stuff.
Right.
You know, they can read a million interviews in print. It's different when you can hear the person's tone that's you know, and how they're delivering a statement.
Right.
You know, and then they can feel, then they start to develop in their own way. You know, I like this guy, or I don't like this guy. He comes off as an arrogant prick. Or, you know, this guy seems really down to earth, very genuine. He's the kind of guy that I could hang out with.
Right.
And then they develop more of a personal connection in their own way. And there's a lot to be said for that. Look, Ronnie James Dio has always been noted as one of the most humble, appreciative, down-to-earth guys. And there's a lot that can go a long way. If you know, as singers, you know, it's very hard because our voice is our instrument. So there are nights that, you know, our instrument won't be really in tune. Okay. If you're a cool guy and people like you as a person, they'll overlook a lot. You know, there are times where I didn't sing so great, or I'm feeling rough, or I'm kind of hoarse because of all the shows and talking and this and that. People go, they don't care because they like you. And so they overlook those things. But if you're amazing and you're just an asshole, they're going to just be like, you know, I always compare it to a restaurant. You could go to a very, fine dining, very expensive, exquisite restaurant, and the food could be, could be great, but the service is not so hot. It's like, well, I'd rather go to a place that makes me feel like I matter and have the food be a little less quality at a little more affordable price. And I'm treated with care the whole time I'm there.
Oh, sure. It's just like going to a bar. I want to go to a place where people know my name. They know what I drink.
People feel like you feel like you matter.
Yeah,
your business matters.
You walk in, you hear Norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
because you want to feel appreciated.
Right. And that's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think to touch on what Todd was talking about, I think people like an interview or a conversation like this because it's a lot more intimate. You do get to know a little bit more about the person. Yeah, we don't have a better vibe for who they are.
We don't have any scripted questions. We're just talking, and I mean the only question that we're going to get to here in a second that we need to talk about is about replacing people,
right? Being a replacement,
like what we've done,
sure.
Which I still want to do. But I agree with Todd totally. This is probably the best way to do an interview, just to sit here and just talk.
Yeah. Just whatever comes up, because you never know what direction it's going to go in.
Right.
And a lot of times you wind up touching on things that people are not normally privy to. They don't get to hear this type of stuff.
I've met people that, I could, oh wow, now I don't really get I don't feel starstruck, or I don't, that kind of died out for me a long time ago, but there are those special moments where it's like, wow, this is really cool, And then you meet some people and you're like, man, what I envisioned them to be like, as just a normal one-on-one, I've been blown off by a couple people that was really a letdown, and
I call it, Todd, I call it big leaguing. I can't stand when people big league you.
I don't ever want to be, I don't ever, if I ever act like that, just smack the shit out of me, please.
Yeah. Well, I will.
I mean, look, I just turned 39 years old. I can handle whatever's coming at me. I don't worry about it. I'm just me. At the end of the day, I'm just me. And the people that really know me know that.
Right.
I'm super busy, obviously, because of my joining Queensryche. The emails are crazy. The phone's constant. I'm trying to work. All I do is work on music every day, every night, and that's what it takes. And so sometimes I think, I've had some texts from friends like, dude, are you mad at me? Or, hey man, and there's kind of been that concern, and it's like, sometimes I have to decompress and just say, you know what? The world can stop. I need to text my peeps, I need to text my friends and say, hey bro, I'm really sorry I haven't reached out to you in a while. I've been super, and you know what? I get it. No big deal. I'm sure you're really busy, but you have to take the time. I go to my email for my website and I go through them, and I don't copy paste. I actually type and respond to emails. I do wonderful, heartfelt emails from all over the world.
Yeah.
And I thank them. Thank you, so and so, to whatever their name is, and I read their email and I reply, and it can be very
it may not happen. It may not happen right away.
That I do.
It may not. You may not be able to get back to them right away because it's hard to do that. But yeah, I mean, I'm the same way, Todd. I'll sit down and respond to them as much as I possibly can. And because if it wasn't for them,
you can't do it all, but you try.
Right. Yeah. And so I totally understand what you're saying, and that's cool you do that. I mean, and I think the reason why you and I do that is because we really appreciate where we are right now and what we've been able to do. And
I'm very thankful. And look, I'm going to ride it until the wheels fall off. And I might throw some spares on when those are done.
Right, Walls.
There you go.
But there's going to come a time where, maybe you have other business ventures that you've been able to brand yourself or market yourself still within the music community, but in a different facet, and maybe not even performing, but in other areas, and that reputation is going to carry you. So when the performing's done, and one day it will be done, you know, whether it's when you're 60 or 70, or if something tragically happens and you're physically incapable, you know, I think that it really matters to be humble, appreciative, and respectful. And in the end, you just can't go wrong. I just think that that's the best way.
I agree.
I agree with
absolutely,
that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Todd, do you still have anything to do with Crimson Glory?
No, I don't. I talked to the bass player Jeff the other day. I'll text with Ben, and my condolences go out to the drummer Dana. His father passed away, so we're very, very sorry to hear about that. So he's certainly grieving with his family, but those are the three. I haven't talked to John Drenning in many, many months. So I don't even know what he's up to, but
and I haven't talked to him in 2 years.
They're all good guys, and I love them each in their own unique way. And I don't have anything bad to say about anybody because I like them, but I don't have anything to do with Crimson. I mean, it was a wonderful experience. The fans were, I mean, come on. It's a cult-followed band. They never had mainstream success. They never had the popularity that I think that they deserved. But, you know, it was a great thing. But, no, other than the occasional text or phone call once in a blue moon, you know, I really – and actually that's the reason why I resigned from the band. It's been speculated that I quit Crimson Glory because of Queensryche, and that's totally not true. The reason why I quit Crimson Glory is primarily for the reason that you just asked me was, you know, do I have any involvement? And the fact of the matter is, you know, they all have careers and other endeavors outside of music to sustain, and they have other, you know, pleasures that they want to do. And so that, you know, music doesn't consume their time like it does in Queensryche. But the fact remains, there was a lot of lack of communication and songwriting and things that we wanted to get done, but for various reasons just didn't materialize. Had nothing to do with my affiliation or joining Queensryche, but
well, you know, that's a lot.
Here I am.
I understand it too, because I mean that's the whole reason why like the erotic liquid culture didn't go in, because there was just so much downtime, so much dragging. It took so much energy to get something to happen, and you know, and then you hear, okay, this is we're going to get to this, we're going to record this, or we're going to write here, or you know, or whatever, and it just never materialized. And
I think that's why Wade. I think we talked one time about that. You know, how's the record going? I'm like, dude, it's a really slow process, you know, and you know, when you're relying on every member, and I hate to use Queensryche as the comparison, but it can be any band that's all they do, and all that Queensryche does is music. Mm-hmm. And so that is their job. So it's kind of apples and oranges. But I wanted to be the apple. You know, I want to wake up, and now I wake up, I fire up my computer, my Pro Tools, I have my guitars, I have my drums, I have my notepad or my laptop, and I work on music. The guys live in Seattle, I live in Florida, and there's tons of new stuff, and they'll send, hey, I got this idea, check this out. And I'll import something into Pro Tools, and I'll start writing. And the bottom line is, every day I just do music now. I wanted to be a professional working musician doing what I love. And finally, this gives me not only the platform, but the complete personal satisfaction and gratification, because it's the band that I love. It's the music that I love. I would have loved to have done that with Crimson Glory, but because everyone has other businesses, and it's hard to pinpoint. Okay, let's get together Thursday, and we're going to work on this song. And to make the progress was just a very slow thing. And I just, after so long of just nothing happening, I started to build up resentment and bitterness. And I care about the guys, but the entity itself was making me feel really frustrated And I felt this frustration for a year and a half to 2 years. Right when we were to start writing, things were going great. Yeah, the record's moving and it's happening and blah, 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 blah. And then it would be stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I've got press and fans and people going, how's it going? And I would call the guys, hey, yeah, I got this new thing. We'll try to get together. And then a couple of weeks would go by. And next thing you know, it's a month and 2 months and 3 months. And before you know it, it's like, hey, are we going to write this or what's going on here? And I'm watching the window of time for the band narrow and narrow. And in my opinion, it was a very vital, crucial, small window of time that needed to be capitalized on. And perhaps my view wasn't congruent to the majority view. I don't know.
No. You're right, because I mean, the three of us, Wade, you, and I, we can all agree on one thing: things moved at a snail's pace in the Crimson Glory camp. It's just the way. It's just the way it worked.
I think what I forgot to say, I'm sorry, is I think that's why Wade ended up doing Seven Witches and Leather Wolf. I think that he told me, look, the band kind of was stagnant, and I had some opportunities to go do something. And look, Wade just wanted to sing his ass off. He wanted to rock, and he did. And that's kind of how I was feeling, like, guys, and look, they were on MTV. They had their success. They did the touring thing, and the fire in me was like, man, my engines are just starting to rev, and I want to run. And I felt kind of like a racehorse in a stable, with the gate locked. And it was like, no, we're going to open the gate. We're going to open the gate. I got to cruise around for a minute, and then I got put back in the stable, and I was like,
you wanted
ready
more
to break out.
Yeah, you wanted more.
And thankfully, I'm able to do that now. But, I really wanted that with Crimson Glory, and I would have done both to the best of my ability, as far as I could, but it was never tested. But, they're all great guys, and I wish them well. And look, Jeff has Dark Matter, which is a really cool vibe that he's got going on with his band.
Sergeant Rock.
Dana is, the drummer, is in a band called A Persuasive Reason, which has a great female guitarist and vocalist who also plays guitar, I believe. And Ben has, his band, Avenging Benji. And so everyone's still has their musical things, and it's all good. We're friends, and there's no hard feelings. I think they understand.
I'm glad Queensryche came around for you, man, because the male prostitution wasn't working out for you.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it.
The Todd Latore house of prostitution. It just wasn't cutting. It was a really real small house. Yeah,
a small house.
Yeah. Well, that's why it was called Crimson Glory Hole. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God! You just worked right into that one. Yeah, that's great.
That's cool.
Well, Todd.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
I know you are. Well, let's get to this other thing real quick because
this was the whole basis of what we were
talking
about,
this is the big thing. Let's
get to the meat.
Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road for us. I mean, you and I walked into positions, not only with what we're doing now, but back with Crimson Glory. Okay, Midnight was a force to be reckoned with. I mean,
sure.
Vocally, I mean, he
extremely unique,
very unique.
Well,
yeah.
Exactly.
And so when I came in, and for people who don't know this, I'm the second guy. I'm the guy that walked into Midnight's place, and then it was Wade, and then Todd. It goes in that order. And the thing is that each time that we did it, everybody still didn't matter who it was, whether it was me, whether it was Todd. We were getting compared to Midnight. It was going to happen.
Right.
And
you can't avoid that when you're walking into a situation like that.
Yeah, and I personally didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, to be honest with you. And I think that's the reason why it was so short-lived, because I just was basically like, I don't want to do this. So that's where the ELC thing came along. Now, Todd really, I think Todd really got it. You know what I mean? He grabbed it and as we say, made it his bitch as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Todd was you were a huge fan of Crimson Glory prior to even being in the band, right? And I didn't.
Well, no. I was a Queensryche fan. I was a Fates Warning fan.
Okay.
I never Dude, I never knew Crimson Glory until 2009 when Matt Laporte told me about them.
Okay.
So I did not know about them.
Okay.
But I think, look, I was always very drawn to the style of Jeff Tate and the Michael Kiskis and, Bruce Dickinson, like Revelation, where he would say, and souls cry out in pain. That whole crying and pain and agony. And it was a very,
despair.
I was just talking to my buddy Anthony tonight, and I forget the phrase that he used. What was the term? We were talking about that style of singing. And it's just a pain, sickening. I think he called it sick. Like, it's just, you're singing like you're sick, and it's emotion. And Midnight had that. You have the Lost Reflection and In Dark Places, songs like that, or Queensryche's Road to Madness. And there's those very subtle nuances that just totally captivated me. And I always loved singing that way in my car or around the house or whatever. And naturally that style just fit what I was about, what I was doing. So I think I was able to capture that essence and some of that magic. But yes, when I joined, it was always, he's no Midnight. Well, dude, nobody's Midnight. That guy, people either liked his voice or they didn't like his voice.
Well,
he had a very interesting tone, and the guy had more emotion than any singer I've heard. And it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing when you're always being compared. But I think that due to the sad passing of his life, and the band had been dormant for 10 years, really. And I think that it was meant to be, man. I don't know if I was put in that band to get those guys together and go through a grieving healing process or whatever the hell there was in the cosmos that made that happen. But it happened, and it was a very special time. And the fans, my girlfriend is from Greece, and Crimson Glory's biggest fan base is from Greece. And we had a conversation, and she said, look, Crimson Glory is legendary and they're very highly revered, but even if they got another singer that's phenomenal and amazing, it's going to be very hard for the fans to love them and embrace them the way that they did to you. And I wore the iconic mask that Midnight, was known for wearing during his signature song called Lost Reflection.
Did you really? I didn't know you did that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that.
In fact, I'm looking at the mask. I have it hanging on a guitar.
Because I was when I came, I said I'm not wearing the mask, and they said, oh no, we're not going to do the mask. I'm like, okay, good, because I'm not wearing the mask.
Todd, do you have any?
Remember, Dave, this is the 25th anniversary.
Okay.
And there was a certain quality involved with that, and so the point is, it's not that Crimson can't find another great singer and move on and do great things. They, that's up to them. But the point that I'm trying to make is, when you're replacing a very iconic singer that's very dear to the fans' hearts, like Jeff Tate has been to me, to every Queensryche fan out there, it's a tough thing when people are always comparing. But you know what? At the end of the day, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I can't carry that baggage. I just can't. I don't deserve to. I can't give what is Todd if I'm constantly worrying about what people think. I just need to do what's real to me, what is genuine, the best I can deliver as a songwriter, as a singer, what the band, that we're all digging that vibe and what we're doing. And that's the best that I can hope for. When John Bush joined Anthrax, look, I know Joey Belladonna. He's a super cool dude, and I love his voice in Anthrax. When John Bush came in from Armored Saint, it was a totally different texture, but it kicked ass,
Mm-hmm.
and people liked it.
You and I talked about that.
And I'm hoping that the fans will, and I think overwhelmingly, you know, I've gotten a very large percentage of support from the fan base, at least giving me an opportunity.
Well,
and
you
that's
know,
a great thing.
And the thing is, Todd, I mean, you're doing a fantastic job live, okay? And the bottom line is that you're in the position that you're in because you can sing the old Queensryche stuff and do it with integrity and you know, and you're but you still make it your own. And what I'm trying to get at is that there's people out there who are going to look at, say, the new stuff that you're doing, and they're going, well, it sounds too much like Jeff Tate or whatever. Maybe he should be doing his own thing. But you know what? That's not what people want to hear. I mean, Journey, they hired you know, Steve Algieri, who's a friend of mine. They hired him because, you know, he sounded like Steve Perry. That's what people wanted to hear. I mean, I can't sit there and say there's only been a couple bands. One of them that went to a totally different direction, and I think he and I talked about it today, was Van Halen.
Right.
And I think the reason why that worked was because, you know, Sammy had a name for himself already, and I'm thankful for both bands.
But Sammy had his own unique style, and he didn't sound anything like David Lee Roth.
No, not at all. And
but it worked.
It worked.
It still worked.
It worked, and their music was, you know. I mean, you know, personally, if I had a choice to go pick out what band I was going to go see, you know, if they were both out at the same time, I would love to see old Van Halen. I mean, because it wasn't about David Lee Roth singing the notes. It was about David Lee Roth getting on stage and being the cool mother that he was.
Great performer to watch then, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't care who you are. Back in the 80s, there was no frontman who did not want to be David Lee Roth or, you know.
Sure.
You know.
Well, everyone kind of begged, borrowed, or stole a little bit from Diamond Dave, didn't they? You know, just showmanship wise or just attitude wise.
Yeah. So, but the thing is
great.
You know, but when I came into Shanker, I mean, I joined in '97, and I got crucified because I had to sing all his singers, and it's not just one singer. At that time I think it was like 7 or 8 singers. It was Graham Bonnet, Klaus Meine, Robin McCauley, Gary Barden. You know, even the newest singer at the time, Leif's son, and you know, the thing is, I got Phil from UFO. That's the one I got crucified about the most, is because, oh well, he doesn't sound like Phil. Well, you know what? I didn't try to sound like Phil.
Right.
You know,
right.
It used to really bug me. And Todd and I've talked about this, that when he got this gig, he's like, and I remember what you said verbally to the verbatim. You said to me, I've been through this 100 times or 1,000 times in my head, that, you know, I've done this 1,000 times in my head, and I'm ready for this.
Right.
And do you remember saying that to me? I mean, does that sound something like you said? Because I know we were sitting on that, because I said to you, I go, dude, you're walking into some pretty big shoes. And you said, well,
huge shoes.
I go, you said to me, he goes, I've run this through my head 1,000 times. I've done this 1,000 times, and I'm ready for it, you know, and that's all you can do.
You know, it's interesting when people say, you know, you have big shoes to fill, and I've thought about that a lot, because I'm a pretty, you know, emotional guy.
Yeah, you and I both, brother.
I'm a sensitive, emotional person.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And you know, I've gained a thicker skin. I mean, how many times are you going to read, "You suck," you know, threatening emails, you name it. I've been called every name in the book.
Yeah,
and I don't even care anymore. And you know, I know that it's like, I can't invest in that kind of energy. But when people say the shoes, that's a big shoes to fill, and I say, you know what? Those are Jeff's shoes, and those aren't my shoes. I got my own pair of shoes, and I just have to fill my shoes. And I kind of battle with the term replacing. Oh, he replaced this guy, he replaced that. You know, I don't even, you know, there's the one part of me that says, you know, Jeff is not a replaceable guy. He's unique in his own way. And I am the new singer of Queensryche. And yes, I can, you know, have that common thread vocally that was, you know, very indicative or similar to those sounds that Jeff brought vocally to that band.
Right.
But I also do things that he doesn't do.
Right.
You know, I have a grittier. He's got a very great voice, and it's very clean. You never hear the rasp and the grit. I've always had a scratchier voice. You know, I have a deep voice. You know, I've got a solid 4-octave range. Sometimes I can hit a 5th, but you know, solid 4. Even now, I'm nearing 40, and you know, I like the heavier edge. So I don't ever want to say, you know, I can do anything he can do. Look, he was amazing. He was one of my biggest influences. I have nothing bad to say, you know, as a vocalist. But the whole filling the shoe thing and all that, look, I just do what I do and try my best to perform the classics in the best way that I can. And it's not contrived. This is the stuff that I grew up loving and listening to, and I have attachment to some of those songs. So I think I'm able to deliver the songs, you know, from within. Even though I didn't write the lyrics, you know, I still remember when my grandmother died, and I remember listening to Roads to Madness. So when I sing that song live, I'm digging into a place that nobody knows. Mm-hmm. I'm not just singing words or trying to hit notes, you know. It comes from a different place.
Because you're kind of evoking that emotion that you felt when you heard that song.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And so that's, you know, there's a million, look, there's singers that are better than me, technically, but there are not a lot of singers that can really sell Roads to Madness or Crimson Glory's Lost Reflection or, you know, some of the In Burning Bridges. There are those songs that, you know, and I think that that's why I was fortunate enough to, you know, one of the reasons why I'm able to do that. And, you know, with the new stuff, you know, I've got some cool gritty stuff on there that you're right, Dave. Some people would go, that's not Queensryche. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If I sound too much, he sounds like Jeff. What a copycat. But if I don't, it sounds nothing like Queensryche. So
right.
You say, you know what? So, we're just going to do what feels right to us. These are 3 of the original members of Queensryche, songwriters that actually play instruments, that write music. To me, that's Queensryche.
Well, and we talked about that.
To do that and contribute, then you know.
I told Todd today. I said, dude, I said just go in there and do, you know, just be yourself and you know, I mean. Like you said, Todd's voice, his tones, his reflections, everything, his inflections are, you know, they're similar to Queensryche because that's what he grew up listening to. So it's going to happen. But the bottom line is just go in there and be Todd and do your little rasp thing. You know, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Still,
you know,
it's still like Todd was saying. It's kind of like a juggling act between trying to, you know, pay you know, tribute to what came before, and still kind of give the fans what they expect to hear, and still being true to yourself.
Definitely a balancing act.
As an artist.
Definitely a balancing act, and it's frustrating. And you know, if Todd's put on some thick skin, and I have too to a certain extent, but Todd's probably skin's got a little thicker than me because it still bothers me at times when people slam me for whatever, you know, but you know, because we're a lot alike. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, but and it does hurt. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't bother me because it does. And you know, I try to do the best I can, and that's all I can do. I mean, you know, and if somebody thinks they can do it better, come take my place. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm the greatest in the thing, but
there's a lot of there's a lot of Monday quarterbacking. Look, all these cyber people that want to slam you, they can't sing. You know, can they sing one verse? Well, do 90 minutes in tune like the record, and then come talk to me.
And then do it. And then do it 8 nights in a row. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You know, but it's definitely. I try not to read that stuff, you know, because it's nice to read positive things. But I'll tell you what was really a great thing was Scott. Our drummer, Scott Rockenfield, just did an interview with Eddie Trunk when he premiered that 90-second snippet. And the first words out of Eddie's mouth, and let's face it, you know, Eddie, he knows all about all that music. and the first words out of his mouth were, "Sounds like Queensryche."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a great kind of a stamp of approval.
Yeah.
And that was a great thing for him. He never heard the snippet before he aired it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he played it, and his reaction was, "This sounds like Queensryche." And that means that we did
something right.
Our job.
Yeah,
we did it right.
Yeah.
And that's great. So,
and especially coming from Eddie, he knows this. He knows
people
this.
are going to find elements that are new, that might not seem so, quote, Queensryche, and then they're going to find those other things that go, that's okay, that sounds like Queensryche there. Right. And, you got to give it a listen,
Now, Todd, we found the teaser trailer for the new album on YouTube. Is there a complete track that's on there as well?
Is there a complete track on where?
It's anywhere online, either on your page or on YouTube, that people could hear, or is that the only thing that's out there right now?
No.
As far as
publicly, the only thing that we've offered is that 90 seconds, which is a rough mix. It's not a finished mix. It's not been mastered. That was something to say, hey guys, here's something that sounds, here's 90 seconds of something that's, we feel is worthy of sharing, and a little ear candy for the people to listen to, and let them know that it's coming close down the line. It's coming close. It's getting close, and so it's going to sound sonically. It's going to sound great. Look, we've got James Barton, who's the engineer who engineered Operation Mindcrime, Empire, and also produced Promised Land. Those are amazing albums from Queensryche. So I'm very fortunate and happy. He's become a friend of mine, and it's a great thing. But publicly, that's the only thing we're sharing right now. But not to say that something else couldn't come soon.
Well, this is what we're going to do, Todd. I think we're going to get to we got to move on, but I think we're going to play that little 90-second thing here, and if he has it, and then we're going to get to. I got my buddy, and you met Wayne on tour with us. Yeah, Wayne's going to come on.
I said hi.
I will. Well, yeah, he's going to be coming on the air with us in just a few minutes. I want to get him on here. So, but. Hey, bro,
I got the gift of gab, dude. If you give me an inch, I'll take a mile.
Oh, I know, man. And you know what? And I appreciate it. And that's the way it is when he and I get on the phone. If I know we're gonna get on the phone, we're gonna be on there for an hour and a half. So
he's super cool. I really like Wayne.
He's awesome. So, but man, I really appreciate you coming on and
my pleasure, and thank you as well. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon. And please go to our website also, which is queensrycheofficial.com, and we also have the Queensryche Official Facebook page, and there's constant dates that are being added in the United States and Europe. We're going to be working on things for South America and all kinds of good stuff happening, but keep your eyes and ears open for the record release, because that's going to be coming pretty soon. And I want to say on behalf of me and everybody in the band, thank you very, very much for your open mind and embracing us and sticking with us. And we're all about moving forward, and that's really our main focus. There's a lot of other garbage happening on the internet with regard to the band, and we just don't really want to even deal with that or talk about it, because it's not where our head's at. We're just nose to the grindstone with recording and getting you guys some great Queensryche music.
Right on,
Very
dude.
cool.
Right on. Well, we'll be in what? Go ahead,
Todd. Is there any way we can get you to maybe come into the studio and interview with us when you're in town, or maybe come out to one of the shows and talk to you and some of the other guys from Queensryche?
Yeah, Dave's got my contact info with regard to any kind of on-site interview. That's something that we'd have to run through our people because of scheduling, because I don't know the schedule. I'm kind of like, I'm a circus mouse. I get out of my cage and sing and dance and go back in the cage. So, we can talk about that off air sometime.
Okay.
And as far as coming in the studio, you know, if I'm in town and I've got the time, it would be my pleasure.
Awesome.
You know, that's not something we couldn't arrange.
Okay, very cool.
Right on, dude. Well, look, bro, I just
have a great night,
again,
and I hope you enjoy the snippet and that your listeners like what they hear, and we'll be in touch.
All right, Todd. Well, I'll call you soon, bro. I love you, man, and
okay. Love you too, buddy.
And I appreciate you coming on with us, and I'll give you a call here in the next couple of days.
No problem. Have a great evening.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Todd Latour from Queensrÿche. Badass. And I can't wait to actually get to the snippet, but I'm not seeing it actually on the flash drive, so we may have to retrieve it.
Well, once you find it, let's get Wayne on the phone.
Yeah.
While the music's going, and then.
In the meantime, do you want to play one of the videos that we have from you, or one of the songs?
No, if he's got the song, if he's got the snippet, let's do that. And then,
let's do that first.
Because we're tight on time here. So.
Brent, I don't actually see it on there. It's it should be in the Queensrÿche folder, and it should say like teaser trailer. I was looking at it before. Yeah, can we go to the live view of us right now? Let's see. Yeah, you know, see, I don't actually think it made its way onto the flash drive. I downloaded it.
So we don't have it.
It's supposed to be transferred over.
Sorry, Todd.
But we can actually no, we can rip it off of YouTube. Brandon, when I spoke to you earlier, do you recall? Were you able to find the teaser trailer? Todd Latour. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I can come in there and I could. Let's see. Okay.
If we can't find it, let's just get Wayne on the phone, and
we'll get to it.
Either that or get it on the air next week or whatever.
Because I want to bring the guys from American Fiction too.
Okay.
What's that? American Fix? Yeah, why don't you do that? Why don't you put American Fix on real quick? We'll bring them in, and then we'll get Wayne on the phone.
Wayne on the phone. Yeah, let's do it.
Very cool.
That was loud.
It was. Yeah, American Fix, sick of this. And we're joined by the guys from American Fix right here on the HellRaisers Ball. How you guys doing tonight?
Excellent. Thanks for having us again.
Doing great.
Oh, anytime. So you guys got some shows coming up, huh?
We do. Indeed, we do, yes.
Yeah, we got a March 3rd at Bourbon Street, Newport Richey. It's a Sunday night. We'll probably go on around 10 o'clock. We have another one back at Bourbon Street, actually.
Don't quote him on that.
Don't quote him on that?
No.
Yeah, okay, whatever. We got April 20th, which is 420. Perfect day for American Fix to light the room up, so to speak.
There you go.
That's back at Bourbon Street. And then the following Saturday, we're over the 27th. We're over at the Brass Mug here in Tampa, another of our old stomping grounds.
Very, very cool. And we're going to come back and talk to you guys a little bit more and play another video that you guys have. And I think right now we have Wayne Finley on the phone.
It's going to be real hard to hear with Skype, so please.
Oh, there he is. Wayne, can you hear us?
Wayne, you're live on HellRaisers
Ball. Don't do anything
Ball.
in that room.
Hey, Wayne.
Wayne, can you hear us?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
This is David.
Hey, David.
And you got and JC right here.
JC Viper from HellRaisers Ball.
Sorry.
Hey, nice to meet you. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Sorry it took so long. It took so long to get to you, buddy. We got a very lengthy conversation. I don't know if you were able to catch the first part of the show. So
I didn't catch the first part, but I just caught the last 15 minutes of it or so.
Okay.
Very cool.
So, and I saw you guys were deep into Gab, so I was just enjoying the conversation. Talked to my buddy too. So
awesome.
I was glad, and I know you guys are great friends. So I was glad to hear you guys for what was going on. So
yeah. Well, and you're a great friend too, so I appreciate you coming on the show with us tonight. For those who listeners, Wayne Finley is the keyboard player / rhythm guitarist, musical director for Michael Schenker Group. He's been with Michael since 98? Does that sound right? 97? 99. Okay.
99,
all right.
Okay.
I knew it was something like that because I knew it was right after I stopped for a while. So
right.
And Wayne is the mainstay. As that's the way I like to word it. I don't know if there's a better way, but he's been with Michael through all the changes, the member changes, which is just a revolving door.
They're vast, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just
you were telling me.
It's just crazy. And why Michael does that, nobody will ever be able to figure it out. But Wayne's been there from the get-go, for a long time. And so I think that says a lot about him and his professionalism and what he does. And I've been fortunate to tour with him, and we had a blast on the last tour. The most fun I've ever had on a tour was the last one, and it was grueling, but we had fun.
Yeah, we had a blast. That was awesome. I just look forward to us being able to do that again soon.
I hope so too, brother. And I'd like to think that I wish that was South America, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So we'll see. But
wilder things have happened, right? There are crazier things. So.
Yeah. It always happens. It always happens at the last moment too. Yeah. I feel like I'm supposed to fly out of a phone booth with a big S on my chest and
I
go.
want to see you guys
am.
play here in Tampa.
Well, and that's funny because everybody says the same thing. And I think we even talked about that on the last tours. How come we didn't ever get down to Florida? And even when I played with him back in '90, the first tour I did with him in '97, we didn't come down here, and I don't understand that. Wow. And I know it's not because of the same booking agent, because he didn't have the same booking agency back in '97, so I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's really been disappointing to me because I love Florida and the South, and I never get to go there.
Yeah.
It's just a real drag, and I know there's plenty of fans and people that love MSG, and it'd just be so awesome to come down there. And we really made an effort last time to really try to get down there, and it just was like pulling teeth. And I don't know if it was the booking agent or what the deal was, which it probably was.
I'm leaning towards that's what it was.
Yeah, more than likely.
So whatever, it's out of my hands and out of Michael's hands and the band's hands. I mean, if it's if we had our way, we'd be everywhere. But we just do the best we can, right? So
right. And the other thing is, not only is Wayne doing the MSG, but he also has his other band, No Sky Today, which the record is awesome. It really is. And
Okay.
well, I'm not just saying that because I know the guy, you know, or he slept in a bunk behind me, you know. I mean,
Right.
it's just that, you know, you know, and we never spooned, so it never got to that point, you know.
There was no spooning involved.
Yeah, no spooning on the bus, but you know, but no, seriously, it's a great record. It's a positive record, and I know that means a lot to Wayne, and
Absolutely.
yeah, and I really appreciate that. So it's not just, you know, talking about crap, you know, that you don't, you know, you just really don't need to hear. So if you guys can get your hands on the CD, the No Sky Today, what's a good way for them to do that, Wayne?
No Sky Today on Reverb Nation is an excellent way, or you can just go to my website, which is waynefinley.com.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's a great record. It really is. It sounds great. There's even a video. Is it on the video on YouTube?
yes, it is
Okay, and that's song.
for the video for Final Hour.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
And so you know what? Maybe we should have. I didn't even think about that. Maybe next time we can download that and have that for you. So and play that on the air here. So it's a cool video. It
Yeah.
is.
Very cool.
So so why don't you tell people what's going on? I know you got some things going on with Michael. I mean, I know what's going on, but why don't you tell everybody else what's going on?
Well, we're working on a new album right now. With apparently Michael has the European lineup for this upcoming record. I believe it's going to be called "To Bridge the Gap." At least that's the working title right now. And I've just been in contact with the producer tonight, Michael Voss. And apparently this is going to be a heavy, if not the heaviest, Michael Schenker album to date. Boss just told me literally 10 minutes ago, he just texted me and just said, dude, it's so heavy, it sounds like Sabbath meets Dio.
Oh, wow.
So
I
that
can't
should
wait
be
to
pretty
hear that.
exciting. And that's going to be followed with a world tour with you know, we got 6 weeks in Europe, Russia, and Scandinavia, and then festivals and stuff throughout the summer. So, and then I'm not quite sure what's going to happen for the fall, so we'll have to see what happens there. But we're going to be pretty slammed from starting the end of next month. I leave, and it's going to be all through the summer. So it's going to be pretty exciting. So, you know, also before then, I'm doing some stuff with No Sky Today. We're going to work some more on, we've done 4 tracks demoed in the studio. We have Pete Holmes from Black and Blue, Michael Schenker. He just did a tour with Uli John Roth, with Elliot. So we're going to go back and finish those tracks and continue on. We got to lay about another 10 tracks down to complete the next No Sky Today album. So lots of stuff going on.
That's cool, man.
There you have it.
I'm bummed I'm not doing that with you, but like you said,
Me too.
yeah, you know, you know, this is the $100,000 question that I always get, and I'm sure Wayne gets it too. Is why does Michael change members like he does, and why does he use the people like the European lineup includes the guys from the Scorpions and Herman and
Herman Rarebell on drums, Francis Buchholz on bass, and Doogie White on vocals.
Right.
Okay.
Herman and Francis were from the Scorpions. Doogie was from Rainbow, and Yngwie Malmsteen, and Tank, among La Paz. I think it's one of the other things he's done, among many other things. And they're great guys, but it's just kind of strange when, you know, I go from one tour with all this lineup and then a completely lineup with a different lineup with a bunch of different new guys, you know, or old friends that have, you know, we've been friends over the years that we've kind of mismatched, and it's kind of weird and strange, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's up to Michael, ultimately, who's going to be in the band. It has nothing to do with the other guys, so it's always kind of awkward, you know.
It has to be
me.
a little strange going from one lineup to a completely different lineup of guys.
Well, and for us, at least for me, and I know Elliot and I have talked about it, you know, it's the chemistry that this particular last tour that we just did a few months ago, the chemistry on stage was not only on stage but off stage. I mean, we you know, you got to be able to have that off, you know, on the bus and everything. Was amazing. It really was, and that was the first time that I've really enjoyed a tour from the beginning to end. There's always something in the middle, you know, where you just have a disagreements with one guy, or something just doesn't go right, or up on stage it just doesn't sound right. There's too much inconsistency. There was consistency every night. I mean, we were doing shows. You know, there was a point there where I think we did. What was it like? We did like 8 days in a row. You know. And
9.
Was it 9? Okay. And you know, and then, you know, to be able to do those days and stay healthy and stay focused and you know, and have the camaraderie that we had, because we constantly laughed and we had fun on stage, and people saw that. They could see that we were enjoying each other's, you know, playing with each other, and that just the bottom line. And
Yeah,
so
the audience feeds off
it
that.
frustrates us. It frustrates me, you know, that the changes happen the way it does. But ultimately, you know, obviously they're there to see Michael, and we all know that. But it, you know, it's still that underlying, you know, I don't know, for the lack of a better word, misunderstanding. I just don't get it, you know.
Yeah.
And Wayne's seen it all. I mean, he's been through. I don't know, how many singers have you been through, Wayne?
Jeez.
He's laughing.
Sorry, man, I didn't put you on the spot, man.
Jeez.
I know you had. I know
Did you
you,
take a stab at
counting.
6 or 7?
you had Keith Slack.
No,
You had,
let's respect anybody that I've maybe missed, but I would roughly say 6 or 7.
yeah.
Just off the cuff. I mean, Robin, Kelly Keeling, Robbie McCauley, of course, Kelly Keeling, Keith Slack, David Van Landing, Jari Tura from Finland. Who's the one from Sweden?
Leif?
Leif Garrett. Not Leif Garrett.
Leif
Sorry,
Sundin.
Leif. That's how I always remember his name. So what? That's at least 6 right there, right? So.
Yeah, and then you got
Gary Barden, of course. You know,
Gary. That's
the
7.
originator. You know
That's
what I mean?
7, dude.
That's 7, right
Okay, and then you had
That's
Doogie.
7.
Then you got Doogie. That's 8. And
Now
Mike,
Doogie, that's 8.
and Michael Voss.
That's 9.
Michael Voss, 9. See,
Wow.
Wow.
so there you have
That's
it.
amazing.
9. That's a lot of singers through the
Oh
years.
no, and we're forgetting one more. What's his name?
Oh shit.
The Unforgiven. Right? You were
Kelly
on.
Keeling, I said that.
No. The other guy, the long blonde hair.
Oh shit. Chris Logan.
Yeah.
10.
There you go.
Damn. I don't even realize there's been that many.
That's it. We're on the metric
Wow.
system, right?
There you
It's a
go.
metric system.
I want to come.
Well, we
sing
just
for
went into
Michael
double
Schenker Group,
digits.
too.
Now we're up to 10.
Yeah. So if you're a singer, just put your audition tape in and get you know. I mean, 10.
I lose track myself. You know, jeez.
10. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
It'd be, you know, and but whatever it is.
And-
You know.
10 singers over 15 years. Wow. That says a lot.
It does, actually.
That's almost a singer a year, almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
And you're still there, buddy. You're still there.
Yeah.
And he's seen it
The
all.
grace of God. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And now that doesn't even consider the rest of the lineup. That's just vocalist, right? Because there's got to be
Right.
another-
That's just vocalists. So
Right.
imagine, you know,
Well, yeah.
after that, each of the individual members, you know.
How many
Right.
How many
Drums
drummers?
and bass
I mean, drummers is Carmine, Pete, Chris, right? Was that his name?
Chris Slade.
Chris
yeah.
Slade. Who else? Herman. Herman.
Herman Rebel. Brian Tishy. That wasn't really a tour, though. That was more of a few dates with him. Ted McKenna.
Oh yeah.
One of the original drummers.
And of course Simon.
MSG. Simon Phillips.
Simon
of course.
Phillips. How we can forget him?
Monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great drummer.
And Shane Gallus.
Shane. Yeah. Who I played with Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that it's just crazy. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
crazy.
those are all
It's
heavy hitters.
it's a rotating, you know, swinging door that just, you know, and it's sometimes it's a, you know, it can be a thankless job, you know.
Colson, too.
I can imagine.
Who?
They should just
Jeremy
probably-
Colson.
Oh yeah.
They should just put revolving doors on stage left and stage right, let people come in and out.
Right. Right.
No.
So,
No.
so for the past 14, 15 years, the only mainstays is Wayne and Michael, And I don't think anybody's replacing him. So,
No.
So when does the tour start for you? When do you go out of the country?
I think I'm going to leave around March 30th or 31st. I'm trying to convince them to add me to the rehearsal days. So
that would be
nice.
They
want to fly me straight into the first gig, without a rehearsal. Like, oh, we're going to rehearse with the band in Europe, and then we'll fly you in, Wayne. You know it all already, right, Wayne? I'm like, yeah, I do, but I want to rehearse with you guys. And
well, they do have a point, Wayne. If you don't know it by now, buddy, I mean, but I mean, that's like what Elliot had to go through with Uli, and he was shaking hands with the guys in the band at sound check, for the first time. They didn't even rehearse. They went up, he flew in, and and with Uli, it's just it's a crapshoot of what you're gonna do, and I think Wayne, you've played with him, so and I know that's the way he rolls, and Michael is so different. Michael's very structured, I mean, and I love that. I like that knowing what's going to come next, and he very, very rarely deviates from the plan. And I mean, do you think I'm right, Wayne? Do you agree with that, or?
Absolutely, and I was kind of surprised. I jammed with Uli right after the NAMM show here in San Diego, and I actually got us. They said, "All right, learn Stevie's Coming, so you can do it on stage." And I was like, "All right, you actually got a song." It's you know what I mean. I wasn't just gonna be like, "We'll just tell you to come up on any song." So make sure I almost did a tour with Uli, so I had to learn I don't know how many songs from the Scorpions and from his his solo stuff. So it was nice. They actually said one song I could so it was awesome. So we did that.
I was waiting for you to tell me. I was waiting for you to tell me that you didn't do that song.
Yeah, right. At the last moment, and I was waiting backstage. And they're like, "You're going to be the third or fourth song," and I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm looking behind the curtain, waiting to go on anytime. So I waited to almost the last song, and then I finally said, "All right, come on out." So and I did it, and it was awesome. It was fun. So it was a blast, but
I was surprised that
it was narrowed down to at least one song.
I didn't know you did. I didn't know you did that. I just didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I sat in with Elliot, and Pete Holmes was on drums. So that was a blast. So that was cool, and I'm gonna jam with him. He's coming back around. The tour made a big giant loop. He's coming back to San Diego, and I'm supposed to jam with Uli and Kofi Baker, which is Ginger Baker's son, who does the Cream Experience. I guess it's supposed to be pretty intense, like a Cream tribute kind of thing, with the son playing drums, and I'm supposed to do Strange Brew. He said, "What song you want to do?" I said, "I want to do Strange Brew." So we'll see what happens. So that's this.
That's a no-brainer.
And then they call me today and say, "Hey, do you want to do a Hendrix tune too, or instead a Hendrix tune?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Just let me know what song." So. Never a dull moment between Uli and Michael, I guess, huh?
You got that right. We actually did a show in Chihuahua, Mexico, and it was Uli opened up, and then Michael played, and ironically Pete played drums for Uli for I don't know what, an hour and a half, and then we took a break, and then he ended up playing another hour and a half with us. And
wow.
And so did and Elliot did the same. And Elliot did the same thing. They did.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there looking at Pete, going, "Really? I mean, how did you do that?" Yeah. And no offense to Pete, but Pete's no spring chicken anymore. So it's he got up there and just knocked it out. I was really surprised at that. I thought that was amazing. And but Uli, after the show, Uli hung out in the hotel with us and sat and talked. And he's just a wonderful spirit, And I love seeing him and talking to him, and so I know Wayne feels the same way. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but Wayne's in San Diego, and he's getting ready to do this tour, and I'm really happy for you. I'm still glad that you're still working and still being able to pay the bills doing this this racket that we live in.
Yes, with God's grace, I am. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but is there anything else, Wayne, that you want on you to get off your chest?
No, not really.
Look, you want to air your dirty laundry out? This is your time, buddy. Come on, I'm giving you a window of opportunity. Come on.
My chest is pretty clear. There's not that much hair on there, so.
All right.
Well, maybe he can tell us one of his memorable stories on tour with you.
Well, if he can think of one quick, I know we had a few of them.
Well, one of the funniest
there's
ones.
Just so many. Oh, geez. Oh, between the haunted theater we played, that was interesting.
That was great. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Down at Al Capone days. Where was that?
That was it. That was it. That was in right outside Chicago. That was at the art. What's the name of the theater? Something. It starts with an A. God. Anyway, it was a very old theater, and it was awesome because the owner of the place came and he gave us a tour, and I guess somebody had been murdered in the basement down there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Couple people. Right.
A couple people.
Well, somebody had hung themselves or something like that from down there. Somebody
there was like a suicide and then like a murder. Like,
allegedly.
It was like an hour out of Chicago.
It was right outside Chicago. Yeah. And
Is that the Astoria? Is that what that was called?
No. It was called the Armada or something. I just can't think of it right now.
You mentioned
St. Charles.
Yeah, it was in St. Charles, Illinois. Yeah.
Okay.
What was the name of that? It wasn't the name of the theater. Anyway, the thing is that there was obviously there was a murder and blah blah blah. They found the body like 3 weeks later, but there was a door that was used in the trial of the murder, and they replaced the door back. They put it back, and you still can see on the door blood. And this is back in like 1930 or 1940 or something like that, and so the tour is very interesting. It was just like the Ghost Hunters thing, and I'm down there with my camera and I got video and everything, and of course you get a little creeped out about everything, but it was very cool, and not only that, but just on top of that, that was a great show. I mean, I can remember one point, and this is where this happened a couple times, but this was the most definitive moment of the whole tour, at least for me, and I think probably for Wayne as well, until the Chicago House of Blues that kind of took over. But there was a point where after we were doing what song did we finish? Well, we were getting ready to go into Love to Love, and I literally stood on stage for, I'd say, a good 90 seconds, which doesn't seem like a long time, but imagine being up on stage and I stood there and didn't say a word, and just the crowd went ballistic. And
right,
you remember that? You remember that, Wayne?
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I got goosebumps. And I actually said to the crowd, "I want to thank you for the." I used some spiritual words, and I said, "I want to thank you for the best moment on the tour." And it was amazing. That town was just amazing. That whole entire night was amazing. And so for speaking for Wayne, I think that was one of the highlights of the whole tour for us. It was and Chicago's just it's a Michael Schenker town. It really is. In the House of Blues, and the same thing happened in the House of Blues. I literally stood there and didn't have to say a word for at least 90 seconds while the crowd just lost their minds. And I remember thinking to myself, this is why I do what I do, and if anybody could ever get a chance to feel that, just embrace it, man, because I'm telling you, I'll never forget it. And it happened several times on the tour. So
that's awesome.
House of Blues Chicago, I remember it was the most packed fridges backstage. When you say orange juice and Heineken, I mean they bring 5 cases of each.
Oh wow!
I remember when we were there, it was cool.
They take care of you. Huh?
Yeah, no.
The place was great. Yeah. The place is beautiful. It's weird load-in wise to get into the place from the depths of hell in the basement. Yeah, but once you
get a workout with those 5 flights of stairs too. That's don't forget anything in the bus.
That's
whatever
crazy.
You do.
Yeah. You got to get everything off the bus and go straight.
Time.
Yeah. You don't want to have to go back and get something. And I actually did leave something on there, so yeah, I had to hoof it. But
inevitably you leave something, so you need to go back at least twice. Sometime during the day.
That's it.
Right. Well, but as I can say this, and I can honestly say, I said this with Elliot on the phone, and I can honestly say this with Wayne as well. Touring with Wayne and Elliot, it was for me probably some of the biggest pleasure that I've had on the road, and I've been doing it a long time. So, and I appreciate Wayne and his professionalism and just being a friend, because we had long nights sitting on that bus, and talking about everything, life, the road, God, you name it. We got a chance to sit and talk about it, and we got a lot closer on this tour. So once again, Wayne's not a rock star. He's a person. And if you guys ever get a chance to go and talk to him and you get to meet him, you'll see what I mean. So I just wanted to.
And Dave's the same way. You know what I mean? And all the Elliot, they're all the same way. It's just they're all great guys. You know what I mean? It's just a real honor to be able to hang out with these guys and to make music with them.
Yeah, it really is. It's I can honestly say it's a blessing. It really is. So.
It definitely is. Yeah.
So I mean, I can't say enough about Wayne, and I probably should just shut up. But but the bottom line is that I'm just glad I was able to do the tour, and I appreciate you coming on here, Wayne, and chatting with us.
Ain't no problem. Anytime.
And hopefully I'll get to see you very soon.
Yes. I look forward to seeing you, my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and who knows? I'm waiting. Anything's possible. It's been so many times I've just been sitting there. All of a sudden, I get a phone call, and I'm going to South America or whatever. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to hold my breath.
Well, I hope so.
Well, look, buddy, take care of yourself, and give my best to the family, and I love you, and keep in touch.
All right, thank you so much, man. And I got some great news with Dean Guitars coming up here really soon. I can't really reveal anything yet, but I got some really exciting news coming up. So
awesome.
I'll send it off to you guys as soon as it comes through here in the next week or two.
Well, I think I know what it is, but I won't say it. But I think I know what it is.
Okay, cool.
All right, awesome.
All right, buddy. Well, take care of yourself, man, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Wayne. Thanks for letting us talk to you.
Thank you so much, and God bless you guys. Take care.
You too, buddy.
Take care. Cool.
That's it.
Wayne Finley, Michael Schenker Group.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, what you see is what you get, and it's I keep pointing that out because it's just exactly what Todd and I all of us were talking about earlier. Is that I mean, it's not about ego. It's not anything about that. It's just about going out there and doing your job, and yeah, we got to get on this thing and promote it and be the people that we are, and and if people look at it, perceive that as being arrogant or egotistical or I'm a dick, which I can be, I mean, then fine. That's okay. But, I know. So
there you go. And so now we've had a lot of the guys that you've played with in the Michael Schenker.
Yeah, the only person we haven't got on here is well, there's two people actually. We didn't get Pete Holmes on here, which I mean, I can do that. We can get him on here. Not tonight. We can get him on here. And then the last but not least would be Michael. And
that'd be awesome.
and I'm sure that if I went to him and just said, hey, look, Michael, that but if we do it, it's got to be
done right.
It's got to be done right. And because Michael's very. He's a very structured person, and we talked about that. He's very, very structured. He's a creature of habit. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. Like he's in his hotel room, and he plays the whole entire set every night in his hotel room before he does the show.
Yeah,
and after how many years this guy been in the business? 35, 40 years. He still does that. And that's probably the reason why he's playing better now than he has in his entire career.
Yeah, and you could tell just by looking at some of those videos that we saw.
Yeah.
I mean, really great
stuff. And I'm just pleased that I was able to see that. And then on top of that, just his whole demeanor, the way he's carrying himself on stage, it's just amazing. Because when I first joined him, he was a statue. I mean, he was he was to my right, and Michael just stood in one spot. He did his thing, and that was great. But now he's all over the stage. I actually bump into him now, and
it would be awesome.
And I never had to worry about it. I always knew where he was. Now I gotta,
Now you gotta look around.
Now I'm like, put a bell on him so I can see. There you go. I want to know where he is.
I know we're gonna have to wrap the show in a few minutes, and I want to get to the American Fix video. Did you guys show Brandon the engineer how to get to the video on your discs? What was the name of the one that you wanted to play?
Do we still got that CD, Brandon, in there? Okay. Can we do that Death Dealer one there? It was on the CD.
Do you see it on there?
You're talking about Death Dealer live at the Brass Mug.
Is that the
Yes,
one?
I think
No,
it
no.
is.
Which one were you talking about?
No, I was talking about We Come to Fight, but that's a produced video. The video that we're going to show is a live video from the Brass Mug just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we might as well plug Heather and everybody over at the Mug.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
They've supported metal.
It's a pretty decent
If
video.
you guys have to
Dude,
pick one, that's the one you want to play.
Dude, I can't
Yeah.
I can't plug Heather. I'm a married man. Sorry.
Yeah.
And another thing, I want to find out
And
what happened.
and I'm sure my wife's watching this.
And I want to find out what happened because we would. Wade Black tried to call in and we tried to get him on the phone, but I don't know what happened.
When did he call?
He said he
It was a while
he texted
ago.
me.
Oh,
he said he
really?
was trying to call.
It was
Oh.
a while ago.
And he
Yeah.
said
Okay.
that.
You were still on the phone with Todd at the time.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I know, and he texted me saying he was trying to get through. So I don't know what happened. So we're going to try to get to the bottom of that real quick while we play this.
Wade's amazing, man.
Yeah,
Wade
great
is
guy.
amazing.
And he has a,
Lucian,
and he
I've
has a
been
gig coming up
At State Theater, right?
at the State
This
Theater.
Saturday.
I've been
I
watching
believe it's on
Wade
Saturday.
since Lucian Black. As a matter of fact, we used to play shows
It's not
together
working?
at Clancy's in St. Pete.
Is there an?
Long
Can
time
we go
ago.
to the other video?
Same one we just did. That My Life.
What's that?
It's only about a minute and a half. This is I just wanted to bring it to you guys. We haven't even finished the video. The mix that you're hearing even on there isn't a final, but
What is this, a teaser type thing?
It is a teaser.
is.
It is.
Yeah,
This is up and coming American Fix. This is the first time anybody's ever seen.
I don't
it,
know if I
actually.
like.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like male musicians teasing me, man.
He who hoops hula hoops with Cheerios.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me.
You don't mind a
Take
female
it easy,
musician
Pine
teacher,
Nuts
right?
and Largo. I remember
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
over there. You and your voice to text stuff there. Take
There
it
you go.
easy.
Stupid phone.
I'm
Do we,
gonna tweet you.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Hang up on that guy.
Do we have it ready to go?
Yeah.
And so, which one are we watching?
This is the world premiere. We haven't even finished editing this. We brought this in for JC and for David over here to check
Yeah, nobody's
out
seen this. This
some
is
new
brand new.
fresh stuff. Yeah, this is My Life. This is off our upcoming CD. Should be done probably 3 to 6 months out.
Very
depending
cool.
on-
So
depending
this
on
is
the-
American Fix, My Life,
Yes,
right
it is.
here on the HellRaisers Ball.
World premiere.
Yeah.
Taking every bit of my being to not take the strength. So tired of the way you talk to me. It kills me that you have no respect. And it's the way you look down on me, as if who I am doesn't matter. I think I'm going to blow a fuse and make the hate flow through for you. I'm ready to snap, and I won't quit. You can't stop me. You deserve what you get. I'm ready to snap, and I won't quit. You can't stop me. You deserve what you get. Fill in your own time. This is my life. Fill in your own time. Fill in your own time. This is my life. Fill in your own time. Fill in your own time. This is my life. Fill in your own time.
Well,
All right.
that's as much
Was
as
that-
it's going to play.
Was that it?
Yeah, yeah.
What is that? Is that a love song? Is that what that was?
Yes,
It
that's
was a
right.
love
Yeah.
song.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm feeling emotional right now. I
Yeah, that was American
want some
Fix,
candles
My
and some
Life.
wine.
I like it.
Yeah, we were hoping
Good
to have
stuff.
that
It's a
out by
taster.
Valentine's Day, but it didn't work out for us.
It didn't work out?
Yeah. What are you going to do, huh?
Well,
So is
You'll
it
have-
somebody calling in here? Is that what that was? Or
we were trying to get Wade on the phone so that we can have him plug a show coming up this weekend. He's opening for Mushroom Head over at the State Theater.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Saturday night?
Yep.
Saturday night?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I-
And so
Theater.
he was asking if HellRaisers Ball and a whole bunch of us would come down and support him. So
Sounds like
know.
a great time to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to go see.
I'm going to
Wade.
be in the front row of the halter top screaming. At
Oh,
That's it, man.
I told him that I would come
Is it-
down and
That's not the bone
shoot some
pose, is it?
shoot
It's the
some
bone
video.
pose, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
No mankinis. That's all I'm saying.
No mankinis.
I got to go get my Brazilian done, and I'm good.
Oh, Oh my God!
A Brozillion, you mean?
Yeah, Brosaline. Yeah, Brosaline.
A Brosaline.
Yeah, that was one of those.
I have to, man, because if I wore a thong, it would look like a squirrel trapped in a Crown Royal bag. You know what I mean?
Do you often
Seriously,
wear it,
man.
do you do that oftenly?
That's a little TMI right there.
Yeah,
Actually, I wear it, but I wear it backwards, so it's
You're the guy that I ran away from. When
Yeah, exactly.
Does he,
No, I'm the guy just stupid enough to say it on the air. That's all, and then I don't wear one now. That's all. It's all. I'm done.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get Wade.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get Wade hooked up here this week.
Wayne's phone is off. Go straight to voicemail. Okay.
Looks like it.
But we're looking at Saturday night, this Saturday. We want everybody to come down to the State Theater and share the evening and a couple drinks with all of us.
Yeah, and what we will do
enjoy some
is
excellent
we'll
music.
post the information on the HellRaisers Ball web pages and let people know more information about the show. And I got a private number calling, but
don't
I don't
answer it then.
What's that?
Don't answer it then.
Hold on a second. Let's see who it is.
Okay.
I'm living dangerously. You're live on the HellRaisers Ball. Nope.
You owe us money.
It ain't.
Yeah.
Hello.
My pants, they were
It
down.
ain't working.
Hi.
You're live on the HellRaisers Ball.
There he is.
Oh, do we have him?
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Let's see if he answers.
Wade?
Wade, you're live on HellRaisers Ball.
Guess what, JC?
There he is.
Hey, you hear me? Guess what? What's going on?
Hey, Wade, what's happening, Madman?
Oh, we got
Wait a minute.
I hear a delay. You got to lower your
turn your radio down or whatever.
turn your radio down.
It's not Wade.
I know it ain't Wade. I could tell.
Who is it?
Who am I talking to?
Who do you think you're talking to? Who's this? Oh God, I sound horrible.
We got Dara on the phone.
Oh shit! Are you? Oh, what is this? I'm watching you. This is freaky. Hello.
Who is this?
It's Dara.
This is Dara.
Oh.
Okay.
My name.
Dara, did you just call in?
Yeah, I've been watching the show all night.
Okay. Yeah, lower your computer down.
Okay, honey. All right.
She actually sounded like a friend of mine. I thought it was somebody else.
Yeah, a guy, right?
Yeah. Did you want to say something to David? You heard the interview with Todd. I'm assuming, right?
Okay. Yes, I've heard the entire interview. I've been watching all night.
Very cool. So what did you think?
Well, I thought Todd's reference on everything about the copycat, the comparison with Midnight, was right on.
Yeah, you thought that what he had to say was right on?
Exactly. And I don't know if Dave remembers me. I met him at Prague Power 2009 when Crimson Glory did their, I'm hearing double here.
Yeah, I think I do. I met a lot of people at that show, and
right.
Yeah, and that was the last time. Unfortunately for me, that was the last time I saw Matt Laporte alive. And
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And so that, you know what? It's really weird. That whole entire show. That's what I remember the most, because I remember, Matt just coming up to me. He's like, "David, I love you, man. You're great. I'm a big fan." I thought he was being sarcastic. I really did. And he's like, "No." And so we got to really do a lot of talking and everything. And so, yeah, that's what I remember most about Prague Power. To be flat out honest with you. So, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to tell you, we were on the side there, and somehow I ended up backstage. I don't know how, but I got lost, and I had my camera with me, and I've known Matt, and I knew Todd before he became Crimson Glory singer, and he and I had many talks about Midnight. Midnight was with me before he passed away. I was the last. I call myself his last swan.
Mm-hmm.
So he had many loves, but I was his last love. And I've just, throughout this whole experience, and it's been 4 years now, and I'll make this very brief, is I get so sick of this comparison and walking in someone's footsteps and copycat singers. And, you know, and I know Wade Black, too, and I adore Wade, and I love him, and I love Todd. And it just makes me so sick when I hear people say that and, you know, trying to defend it. And here I am on the sideline defending people because I just don't get how people can misconstrue somebody that's replacing someone in a band. And then they turn around and just try to make it the ugliest thing and bash. And it puts people on the defensive. And at one point, I just wanted to call in and say that you guys all have my utmost respect. And I know personally, if Midnight were here and knew that you were singing his songs or knew that you went out there and tried to carry on the name of Crimson Glory and the love for the band, he would be so proud and honored. And I know that for a fact because he was a very humble man.
Well, you know, and I appreciate you saying that because I never. It's just so weird that, you know, I joined Crimson Glory. I think it was '91 or something like that, and I never met Midnight. I've never shook the guy's hand. I've never, and you know, I never really got to hear his point of view. I mean, I caught a few things, but he never had anything negative to say about me, and you know, and I never really had anything to say about negative, but say about him because I never met him. You know, I just knew that I had to go in and do the job, and it was a tough job to walk into, especially. You know, especially that because Midnight was still alive. I mean, you know,
right.
You know, and this is and I think Todd and I talked about this was because the big thing with Todd was, you know, Todd was not. I mean, Midnight was not alive, so you know, there's no way that Midnight can come back. You know, and with me, I took the beating because everybody, you know, if people didn't like me, you know, they knew that Midnight was still there. So that was that was the hard part, you know, for me. But to make a long story short, you know, I appreciate the idea that you came on and said that because I have not been able to get any kind of feedback of or if any at all of way Midnight felt about us.
Well, you know, you talked earlier too, also of not wearing the mask, and Todd, I know he had another mask made and he wore it, and you know, it's so funny because when Midnight used to talk about wearing that mask, by the way, the very first mask that they made, his was the heaviest and the golden one, and he said it weighed a ton, and he hated it. He despised the mask.
Well, they all hated. They all hated the mask. Every one of them. They all hated.
They all hated it, really?
Because they had to wear them. They had to wear them all the time, like because that was their thing. It was kind of like
even
Kiss,
in photo
you know,
shoots and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Really
you know, what I was going to get at though is the fact that he said that he hated the mask, and while I was wearing that mask, he said that the fans, people that didn't know who they were, because of their identity, he said that they either A, thought he was Jeff Tate, B, thought he was Rob Halford, or C, thought that the whole band was ugly and that they were hiding their faces. and
another Kiss.
I mean, he used to crack up on this stuff, and he used to tell me that, you know, he was even criticized and condemned and considered a copycat of trying to do Judas Priest or Queensryche, and you know, so for him to tell me this, and then I hear you guys talking about it tonight, I'm thinking, God, those are the exact same ways that he felt. So it doesn't change things that people will bash and they will continue to insult and degrade, and so be it. But I have to give props to Todd because his whole attitude was, well, you know what, he doesn't have time for that anymore, and screw it. And
I love the way that he put it.
It's a tough job to fill, man, coming in.
It really is.
Coming in and
Dar,
taking, you know, somebody's job.
I want to thank you so much for calling in and talking to us. We have to wrap the show right now.
I know it's late, JC, and I'm sorry we've gone over. I'll let it be here. Peace, love, happiness to all of you. I really enjoyed the show tonight. I just missed Wade not being there, but I'm going out. I just want to plug Saturday night. I'm going to go see them. I've been wanting to see War Villains forever. So
yeah, and HellRaisers Ball will be in attendance. We're going to be out there. We're going to be videotaping some of the stuff, and we're going to do some backstage interviews with War of Thrones and maybe even some of the other bands over there. So
I guess I got to go then. Yeah.
Well, I'll look for you. All right, I'll look. You'll see me.
All right,
Dave. It was nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, dear. Definitely. Yeah. Take care of yourself.
All right, Dar.
Thank you. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Take it easy. Very cool. That was great. That was a great wrap to everything that we talked about.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, because like I said, I could just go on by what she said of how well she knew him, but I it's very weird not all this time being in Crimson Glory, never, or being involved with that camp some way, some form, that I never got a chance to meet Midnight. I never got a chance to really get any kind of feedback from him, and that was nice.
Yeah, that was definitely a great way to finish the show up.
Yes, it was.
And I want to thank everyone for making the show happen tonight. I definitely want to thank Todd Latour for letting us talk to him. And thank you, David Van Landing, for hooking that up.
No problem, man.
That was great. I want to thank David for coming down here and being on the show week after week and bringing some great talent to the show for us.
Thank you.
And, of course, I want to thank Dana Walsh and American Fix. Tell people real quick how they could get more information about the band.
Yeah, American Fix Florida. We're on the Facebook. We're on the YouTube. We're on the Twitter. All the definite social networks. Check us out. Friend up with us.
Very
Let's
cool.
have some good times.
Of course, I want to thank Wayne Finley from the Michael Schenker Group for talking to us tonight. And I know I'm probably forgetting a lot of people. Of course, tonight's show was brought to you by Sam Ash Music Stores on Dale Mabry Highway. So go to Sam Ash Music Stores on Dale Mabry Highway and see sales manager Eddie Keffel. He'll give you some great deals on some new gear or trade in your old gear. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Make sure you go to the State Dealer this Saturday, March 2nd. Check out War of Thrones. They're in support of Mushroomhead. It's going to be a killer show. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of bands that are going to be there, will be there. And then Wade has another band called Sons of Nuns, a cover band, which is going to be playing LA Hangout on Saturday, April 6th. We'll try to get him actually on the show next week, and maybe he could talk to us a little bit more about some of his upcoming
Did you want me to come back?
Yeah, I'd love you to come back.
Okay.
You can come back every week.
Well, I'm not going to I want to wear out my welcome, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'll come in my pajamas and,
TMI, man. We're getting TMI.
Yeah, definitely want you to come back.
Okay, all right.
And that's it, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Peace.
I'll tell you what that was. That was another fine show from rockslamradio.com. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.